everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we're making this beautiful baby dress. This is the Happy Hearts baby dress, and I'll get into the supplies we'll need, and then we'll get into some frequently asked questions about sizing, and then we'll get into making this fabulous piece. So big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing the yarn today. I'm using Scrubby Smoothie yarn. This is a cotton yarn, and this yarn I'm using, the main color is aqua, and I actually used 380 yards of that. Now these Scrubby Smoothie yarns come in 153 yards of yarn, so I ended up getting 3 balls of this color. I used 2.5 of them. And then the secondary color I'm using is this one right here, Scrubby Smoothie in loofah. Ooh, yarn everywhere. Loofah. And I just used a part of the skein on this one, just about 30 yards, and you can see in my dress here I have it on the sleeves and on this bottom trim, and that's about it. So I didn't use a whole lot, so I just needed to get one of those skeins of yarn. In total though, this uses 410 yards of yarn. It is so luscious, so soft, so stretchy. It is perfect for your little one or any little one. Perfect for, you know, showers or a newborn, or I don't know, it's a little bigger than a newborn size actually. I thought maybe closer to a toddler size, unless your baby's a chubber. It's super cute. So also I am using an H-sized crochet hook in this tutorial. Now this super fancy hook I was able to get at the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. They have hand-carved ergonomic wooden handled hooks, and they are just really nice for the curve of your hand and the curve of your palm, and I crochet with these for a long period of time. If you crochet like using a pen, or if you crochet like me, I crochet holding my handle like this or like this, and you'll see that in this tutorial a lot. I'm crocheting like this. You know, these are great handles, great hooks for people with arthritis or wanting to crochet for a long period of time, and I'll put the link in the description of this video and on my blog to get these hooks. And make sure you like Would Be Fancy on Facebook as well. They have a Facebook page too. Also, you're going to need a scissor and a yarn needle to cut your yarn and sew in some ends, and also I grabbed some ribbon too. I have ribbon around this edge, or this center here, the waistband area. I just added a cute little ribbon, and this ribbon over here is actually, what does it say, a quarter inch band here, so the thickness is not very thick, but you can use an inch or a ½ inch if you wanted to go thicker on the ribbon, but that is the exact ribbon I'm using today. So those are all the supplies I'm using. Now all the links are in the description of this video to get these supplies, and also in the description of this video is a link to the written pattern on YARNutopia.com. A lot of the next section I'm going to talk about sizing, and that information is also in the notes section of my blog. So you can check that out next if you need to. For sizing information now, this, like I said, is in the notes section, but for sizing, the length of this is 15 inches long, which is 38 centimeters, okay? And then the waist, across this waist here, is 31 centimeters, which is about a little over 12 inches. Okay, so that's across this waist where the ribbon is. And we have 2 hearts here. We are working with popcorn stitches for the hearts. That's my absolute favorite stitch. We are also working with front post double crochets for the most of this pattern. And also in this little section here where these hearts are, we are working with half double crochets. If we're not working with popcorns or front post stitches, we're working with the half double crochets. And then there's also a few back post double crochets in here as well. So it's an eclectic amount of stitches in this project. And for the sleeves, we're working with half double crochets and chaining and everything like that. So it's a very nice lacy design. So you can see all those special stitches in the special stitch section of the blog of this pattern on my website. Now this pattern is for free on my website, YARNutopia.com, so you can check that out. Now for sizing bigger or smaller, for smaller sizes, I would recommend using a smaller sized hook. I'm using an H hook, which is 5 millimeters in this tutorial to teach you this size dress, but you can use a G hook, which is 4 millimeters, or an F hook, which is 3.75 millimeters, and that would still be good to use with this kind of yarn. But you don't have to use this cotton yarn per se. You can use any size 4 medium worsted weight yarn, or even an Aran yarn would be fine too. Now for bigger sizing, I do explain throughout this tutorial how to do extra rounds or bigger sizes, make this longer or make this wider, or continue to make this shoulder part wider as well. So watch the tutorial through these sections and I'll explain to you how to make it a little bit bigger, tweak it for more of a larger toddler size, maybe 3T, 4T size. So that is all the information for you. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. I am going to check those out, and also you can check out my Facebook page and send me a message there. If you make this, please, please, please share your photos. I would love to see them. If you post on Instagram, be sure to hashtag YARNutopia. Otherwise, you can post it right to my Facebook page, and the whole community can see it, and also I'll be able to see it. So check that out as well. So that is all the information I have for you right now. Let's just get started and make this cute little Happy Hearts baby dress. Let's start out with a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, then fold this down and then pull that through and pull tight. Insert your hook and we can start. So let's start out by chaining 60, 60, okay? So yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, 4, 5. I won't make you watch me chain 60, so just continue this until you have 60 chains, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 1. Alright, once you have your 60 chains, this is what your work should just look like, just a long chain. We are going to, without twisting this, I'm going to twist this so it's straight all the way across. Okay, without twisting your chain, you want to bring this up and over. Okay, so I had it straight and now I'm just flipping it to here. And you can see that back ridge there. I'm going to just insert my hook into that first chain. You can insert it into this loop or into the back ridge. I like to work in the back ridge, so that's where I'm going to go, right there. And then we're going to slip stitch in there to form a large ring. So yarn over, pull that through that chain and through the loop on your hook. And that creates a large ring. That will be the neck, where the neck is going to, or the head or whatever is going to go through that. So what we're going to do now, this is the top of our dress. Looks super fancy already. We're going to chain up 3. So yarn over and pull through 1, 2, and 3, and that counts as a double crochet. And in this pattern, when I say chain up 3, if I do at all, it is going to count as a double crochet. I think this is actually the only time that I say that. So now we are going to double crochet into the next 6 chains. So you can see here I'm turning this chain toward me. Okay, you can see the back ridges right here on our chain. That's what I'm going to work in. So this next chain right here, okay, you can see we worked this chain up 3 in this chain. So we're going to yarn over. Okay, just like that. Go into this next chain right here. There we go. Yarn over, pull that through. Then we have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And then yarn over and pull through those other 2 loops. And that is a double crochet. So in the next 6 chains we had to double crochet. So that was 1. So yarn over, go into the next. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Again, yarn over, go into the next. So this is our 3rd double crochet. Next one is our 4th one. This is our 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the next one right here. Alright, so now it actually looks like we have 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now this next chain we are going to increase. We are going to put 3 double crochets into this next chain. So go in, yarn over first, then go in, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 1, yarn over, go back into that same chain, make another double crochet, and 1 more time go in for a 3rd double crochet. So there's 3 double crochets all in that same chain. Now we are going to double crochet into the next 14 chains. So yarn over, go into this next chain right here, there we go, and make a double crochet. So we're going to double crochet into the next 14. So that was 1. Okay, here's 2. I won't make you watch me do all 14. So I'm just going to double crochet in the next 14 chains, and I'll meet you up for our next increase. Alright, just double crocheted in those 14 stitches. So you can see here is the grouping of 3 right here, and then I double crocheted in the next 14 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oops, I did 15. I must have miscounted. There we go, 14. So now make sure that you have 14. I accidentally did 15 for some reason. It must have miscounted. And now at the next stitch here, we are going to increase. So just like we did back here where we put 3 in there, we're going to put 3 double crochets in this next chain right here. So 1, 2, and 3. Perfecto, just like that. And now we're just going to repeat that. So from this corner here to this corner here, it's basically making a big box. Okay, so we're going to now double crochet into the next 14 chains. Right here is the next chain. Make sure you don't miss any chains. Some of the chains get pulled and then, you know, you can't see it very well. So make sure that you count every single chain. Don't skip any. And I'm just double crocheting now in the next 14 chains. Then the next chain after that will get 3 double crochets in it. And then, yeah, so I'm just going to meet you up for the next increase. Alright, so we did that 3 there in that little corner there, so I just double crocheted in the next 14 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And now in this very next chain, like I had already said, we are going to put 3 double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we have to do this one last time here. Let's double crochet into 14 stitches or 14 chains here. Just put 1 double crochet into each of the next 14 chains. This one's getting kind of stuck here. There we go. So double crochet in the next 14 chains and then put 3 double crochets in the chain after that when you're done with that. And I'll meet you up at that point. Alright, I just double crocheted into 14 chains and now I am putting 3 double crochets in the next chain. And you're probably like, well, what the heck, Nad? I have these last chains left. Well, if you look at your work, you can see that it kind of makes a square. Kind of. A little bit of a square. We still have this little section left, and if you remember in the beginning we only did these first 7 stitches, so there should be 7 chains left, and we are going to double crochet in each of those last 7 chains because we wanted to end on the center of a side, okay, so not in a corner, because the center of the side will continuously be the seam, the back seam of our dress. So it's going to be the very center back of our dress. So it'll just look really nice and clean all the way around, and there'll be a back line, which you'll barely see because the stitches we make are going to be so fabulous. So as you can see, I just have one chain left. And if you need to, you can obviously count, you know, to make sure that you have the 7 chains left. If you have 1 or 2, you know, not enough or too many, just make sure that you have 7 stitches after the increase of the 3 here, okay? So that's what it should look like. So now we're going to slip stitch to the beginning chain up 3 right here. 1, 2, 3. So we are going to go into the top chain. Okay, then yarn over and pull that through and through the loop on your hook. And that slip stitches it, and there is round 1. Awesome. Let's go right into round 2. We are going to chain up 1. So yarn over and pull through. And we are going to front post double crochet in the first 8 stitches. So this chain up 3 stitch counts as a stitch. So let's yarn over, go on this side of the post, okay, and then around it, just like that. Then yarn over and pull it through. Then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And that is a front post double crochet. So from the rest of this pattern, the front post double crochet is worked on the first stitch. And this chain 1 back here does not count as anything. So you can ignore that for the rest of this pattern for the rows leading up, you know, onto the next rows. Okay, so now we are going to do the first 8 stitches. So that was 1. So yarn over, go around this next one right here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So those are front post double crochets. So that's 1 and 2. Yarn over, go on this side of this post right here, around it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there's 3. I'm going to go a little bit faster here. 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, and 8 is this next one. Now you can see we're in the middle double crochet, or we're at the middle double crochet of this 3 double crochet grouping now. Okay, so this is the middle double crochet right here. We are going to make an increase, and we are going to put 3 front post double crochets on that post. So we are going to yarn over, go on this side of the post around it, just like that, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, again, yarn over, go on this side of it, okay, just like that, so kind of below this one here, okay, and another one, there we go, and 3. So there's 3 around that 1 stitch. Awesome. Now we are going to front post double crochet on the next 26. Oh, I'm sorry, 26. I'm reading the wrong row, guys. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. On the next 16, not 26, 16 stitches. So yarn over, go on this side and around the post, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, just like that. Should be the next, yep, 16 stitches. I'm just rechecking my written pattern here. Okay, so we're just going to front post double crochet onto the next 16 stitches here. 1, 2, here's 3. I won't make you watch me do all 16. So once I get to the next middle double crochet of this 3 double crochet grouping, I will meet you up and we'll go on to the next step together. Okay, your 16th stitch should be the first double crochet of the 3 double crochet grouping here, and on this middle double crochet of the 3 double crochet grouping, we are going to put the 3 front post double crochets on there, just like we did over here, just like that. Okay, so again, yarn over, go around the post, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, there's 1, do it again, here's 2, and again for 3 stitches there. Okay, so there's 3 front post double crochets on that 1 double crochet. And then we're just going to repeat what we did all the way around. So front post double crochet on the next 16 stitches, and then put 3 front post double crochets on this middle double crochet of this grouping here. Then front post double crochet on the next 16 stitches, and then put 3 front post double crochets on this middle double crochet here of this grouping. And then I'll meet you up for these last few because we'll have to front post double crochet on these last, I think there's 8 there. Yep, last 8 stitches there. So I'm going to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you up at the end. Alright, once you finish that last increase of putting the 3 front post double crochets in that middle double crochet there on the last section here, there should be 8 stitches left. So like I said earlier, you just have to front post double crochet on those last 8 stitches. And I'm going to do that really quick here because I'm sure you know how to do a front post double crochet by now. So I'm just going to finish off this round, and then we are going to slip stitch to the very first front post double crochet. Remember earlier I said not just ignore the chain 1. So ignore the chain 1 right here and go into the front post double crochet stitch right there, yarn over, pull through, and through for that slip stitch. And that was round 2. At the end of round 2 you should have 76 stitches, and this is what your piece should look like. And if you want to measure it out, let me grab my, oopsie, sorry. Let's measure out my thing here. Is about 6.5 inches across. Okay. And which is about 17 centimeters? About 17 centimeters, 16.5 centimeters. So if you want to measure your work out right now after round 2, that's kind of a gauge on how big this should be. So going on to round 3, let's chain up 1, yarn over, pull through. And we are going to front post double crochet on the first 9 stitches. So that includes this first stitch here. So not, you can see the chain 1 back there, but it's actually this first stitch right here, which is where we're going to front post double crochet around, just right there. So front post double crochet around the first 9 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oopsie, I knew I was going to mess that one up too, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so you should get to the middle front post double crochet of this 3 front post double crochet grouping right here. So this middle one right here gets 3 front post double crochets on it. So very similar to the last round. The middle front post double crochet of the 3 front post double crochet groupings each get 3 front post double crochets on it. I hope that makes sense. For each corner, basically. So on this one right here, 3 front post double crochets on that middle one. Then when we go all the way over to this one over here, we're just going to put 1 front post double crochet on each one of these until this grouping right here. And on this middle one right here, that's going to get 3 front post double crochets just like this. Then 1 front post double crochet on each one in between until the next grouping, which gets the 3 front post double crochets on that middle one there. So that's what we're going to do all the way around. So you have to put 1 front post double crochet on the next 18 stitches now, which is each stitch that's between those groupings, that middle double crochet of that grouping. So then I'm just going to front post double crochet on these 18 stitches, and then it'll get me to the middle double crochet of the next corner. So I'm going to put 3 front post double crochets on that middle double crochet of the next corner. And I'm just going to do that all the way around. So it's very simple. If you need to, you could follow along with the written pattern or see in the corners kind of what I was explaining earlier, where to put your 3 double crochet groupings. But I'm just going to do that all the way around, and I'll meet you up then when we go on to round 4. Alright, after this last corner increase here, there should only be 9 stitches left, so just front post double crochet on those last 9. So this is what your work should look like. So in between like those corners, like I said, there should have been 18 stitches and then your increase. Okay, so it's making a big square here. So we can go on to round 4. We are going to increase again. So let's slip stitch to the first front post double crochet stitch right here. So ignore this chain 1 here, just front post double crochet on this stitch here, yarn over, pull through, and pull through, and then chain 1. And on this very first stitch right here, we are going to front post double crochet. So yarn over, go on this side, and just make your front post double crochet stitch. So there's 1. We are going to front post double crochet on the first 10 stitches until we get to, you know it, the middle double crochet here. So you can kind of see the increase at this point. If you need to make this bigger, just keep repeating that sequence. Just front post double crochet on each stitch until you get to the middle double crochet of the 3 front post double crochet grouping. And just put 3 double crochets on that stitch, or 3 front post double crochets on that stitch. So that's all you really have to do. So you can see I'm going a little bit faster here. So here's the grouping. I have to front post double crochet on this stitch here, but we are in the middle one right here. Okay, so that was 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And on this one right here, this middle one, we are going to put 3. So there's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. Just like that. Now we are going to front post double crochet onto the next 20 stitches this row here. So next 20 stitches will get you to the next middle front post double crochet of the 3 front post double crochet grouping, which you know what to do at that point. Then put 3 front post double crochets on the middle double crochet of that grouping. Okay, and just continue with that increase there. And like I said, if you need to increase more after this round, let's see here, after this round we are doing another increase, but then for round 6 we are going to start working on the body. So I'm going to do this round all the way around, just front post double crochet on each stitch unless you are in the middle double crochet of the 3 front post double crochet grouping, and put 3 front post double crochets on that stitch, just like we were working in the previous round. I'm going to do that all the way around, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 5. Alright, after this last corner here where you put your increase, you should have 10 stitches left until we have to get back to the beginning here. And ignore this chain 1 here. We're going to slip stitch into this front post stitch right here. So yarn over, pull through and through, and that attaches it. So at the end of round 4, let's see here, we should have 92 stitches if you want to count back. All the stitch counts are on my blog, YARNutopia.com. Let's chain up 1 there, and then we are going to go on to round 5. We're just repeating that last round there, just putting a front post double crochet onto each stitch until the middle double crochet of the corner right here, and on that middle double crochet there put 3 front post double crochets on it. Okay, but just put a front post double crochet on each stitch, and the amount of stitches, let's see here, this first part here before the first corner, it says there's 11 stitches, but then so you'll start with 11 stitches before your first increase, and then after that first corner there should be 22 front post double crochet stitches to work, and then you'll get to the next corner, which you'll put 3 front post double crochets in the middle double crochet of that grouping. And I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to work this sequence all the way around, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to making the body portion of the dress, first starting with round 6. Alright, at the end of this round you should have these last 11 stitches. After this increase here, there should be 11 stitches before you have to slip stitch to the first stitch right here. Okay, now at this point, if you need the shoulders or the neck portion to be bigger, I'm going to pull up this loop here real quick to show you. This next portion we are going to be making the body. Okay, so as you can see, I folded this in half here, and you can kind of start to see that it is going to look like a dress. So these are the shoulders right here and right here. This is the neck hole here, and then the body is going to come down here. Okay, so what you need to do, if you need this to be wider or bigger, just continue with that increase, just like how I was showing you with these 3 double crochet groupings, and then just putting 1 front post double crochet on each stitch across there to make it even bigger. So you can, and then once you're ready to go on to the body portion, just follow along with my instructions for round 6 here. So what we're going to do is, you can see here, I'm going to chain up 1. Going on to round 6, we are going to front post double crochet on the first 13 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. And if you have more stitches or less stitches, if you are making yours bigger, just front post double crochet until the middle double crochet of the corner grouping here. So for me it's 13 stitches. For you it might be different if you are making yours bigger. Okay, let me count here. Yep. Just getting to the corner. Okay, so let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so I'm at the grouping here. So it's 12, and the middle one is 13. So you want to front post double crochet to the middle one. Okay, to the middle front post double crochet of this grouping. Then what we're going to do is skip 24 stitches and chain 8. So yarn over, pull through, let's chain 8 first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now if you need to chain a few more, that's fine. This is the underarm or the armpit. So we are going to skip 24 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the next middle double crochet of the 3 double crochet grouping, or the 3 front post double crochet grouping. You can see here I'm yarning over. Okay, yarn over on the hook. I'm holding it with my pointer finger because this is getting a little tricky here. Now we have to go on this side of the post here. Okay, around it. Pick up your yarn here. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. And yarn over and pull through 2. So we front post double crocheted on the next middle double crochet of that grouping there. Okay, and it says to, let's see here, skip 24, chain 8, front post double crochet on the next 26 stitches. So that was 1. Okay, next is 2. We're front post double crocheting. Here's 3 and 4. Okay, I won't make you watch me do all of 26 here, but I just want to show you, we're going to pull this up here, and you can see that we have made an armhole. Okay, that's an armhole right there, and this is where the armpit is going to go, or the bottom of the arm there. So, and this is the back. You can see the seam right there. Okay, so we're working across the front here. So we had to front post double crochet in the next 26. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up for the very next step. Alright, so I just double crocheted in those 26 stitches there. It got me to the middle, or it was, the last one was on the middle double crochet of that 3 double crochet grouping there. So now we just have to repeat kind of what we did on this side. We have to chain 8 and skip 24 stitches. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then skip 24 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and then the next stitch should be the one. It is the middle double crochet of the grouping, so yarn over, go into or around that post there, then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And we have to just do the last few stitches here. So we're just going to front post double crochet in each of these last, let me see how many are there, 13 stitches. Just reading my written pattern here. So the last 13 stitches should have a front post double crochet on them. And then we can slip stitch to the beginning. So that's the start of the body. So let me just get there real quick here. I just have a few stitches left. And if you were making it bigger, just take cues for where you have to, how many you have to chain and then skip. It's just basically getting to the middle double crochets of those corners. So you can kind of figure it out that way if you're making yours bigger or having extra stitches. Okay, so once you front post double crochet on those last 13 stitches, we are going to slip stitch to the first front post double crochet right here. Go in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And that was round 6. Now for round 7, we are going to chain up 1, and we are going to front post double crochet on these first 13 stitches until we get to this chain 8 space. So I'm just going to do that. I'm sure you know how to front post double crochet now. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up when I get to that chain 8 space. Alright, so once you front post double crochet on these first 13 stitches right here, we are in the chain 8 space here. Okay, and we need to just double crochet, just a regular double crochet in each. Oops, I have one stitch left here. Sorry guys. I guess I only counted 12. So maybe I'll count this real quick here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Awesome. So now we are in this space here. So this stitch right here, or this chain right here, is a chain. Okay, so you can see the first chain right there. We need to double crochet into each chain, and what I'm going to do is turn the chain, twist it down and around up toward me, and then yarn over, go into the first chain, go actually into the chains, because don't work around the chain, just work into each chain, and there should be 8 chains here. So we are going to double crochet into each chain. So that was 1, so yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we're just putting a regular double crochet similar to round 1 when we were working into the chain. We are just going to put a double crochet in each one of these 8 chains, and then after, let's see here, oh, we don't want to twist anything either, so just make sure your chain isn't twisted or weird or anything. Okay, and there's the next one right there. This is 7, and I have one more right here. 8. Awesome. So after we double crochet in each of those 8 chains, we are going to front post double crochet on the next 26 stitches. So yarn over, go down into this space around this next stitch here, and just front post double crochet on each of these next 26 stitches, which should get you to the next chain 8 space. So I'll meet you up when I get to that point. Alright, I'm at the next chain 8 space here, so I just front post double crocheted in each of these 26 stitches across this front here. So now we are going to just do the same thing for this chain 8 space that we did for the previous one. So I'm just going to put one double crochet. I'm trying to work in the back ridges here. But you can work it whichever part of the chain you want, but I'm going to work in those back ridges. So there we go. Just double crochet into each one of these chains, and then you should be on the other side there toward the back of your work, getting back to the beginning of the work of this round 7, and we should have 13 stitches left. Here, yep, 13 stitches left after this chain 8 space, and we are going to front post double crochet on the rest of the stitches after this chain 8 space. So I'm just going to do all that, and then when I'm ready to close up this round and go on to round 8, I'll meet you up and we'll do that together. Alright, to close up round 7 here, we're going to slip stitch to the first front post double crochet here. Just ignore this chain 1 like I said earlier. Just slip stitch to the first front post double crochet. Now at the end of round 7 you should have 70 stitches. Now round 8 is very simple. We are just going to chain 1 and we are going to front post double crochet on every single stitch around. That's it. We are just putting one front post double crochet on at every stitch. So for the same amount of stitches, 70 stitches around. So very simple. I'm just going to do that. No increases, no decreases, nothing. Just put one front post double crochet on each stitch around. And I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you up for round 9. Alright, so I just front post double crocheted in each stitch around. We are going to slip stitch to the first front post double crochet stitch right here. And going on to round 9, we are going to increase now. So chain up 1. Right there, and in this very first stitch right here we are going to put a double crochet exactly where we slip stitched. So yarn over. Okay, you might have to pull up your loop on this one just a little bit extra. You can see there's my loop is a little bit bigger. So yarn over, go into the actual stitch. So right at the top here we're going to put a regular double crochet in this first stitch. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. On the same stitch we are going to put a front post double crochet. So yarn over, go down around the same post and make your front post double crochet stitch. So now there's actually 2 stitches on that same stitch. There's a double crochet back here, and then there's a front post double crochet right here. And we're going to have that be our increase right there. Okay. Now on this next stitch right here, we're just going to put a regular front post double crochet. Okay, so no increasing on the next stitch. So we're going to repeat that sequence all the way around. So front post double crochet, or I'm sorry, let's see here, reading the pattern here. Front post double crochet on the next stitch, which we just did. So double crochet in the next stitch. So this next stitch right here, we're going to put a regular double crochet into the stitch. So yarn over, go into the top of the stitch right there. Okay, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Also on that same stitch that's worked into right there, we are going to put a front post double crochet around it. Just like that. And then in the very next stitch, put a regular front post double crochet. No increasing on that next one there. Okay, so this sequence right there, the double crochet, front post double crochet on that stitch, and then the front post double crochet on the next stitch. And we're going to repeat this sequence all the way around. So double crochet in the next stitch, then, oops, front post double crochet on that same post, then regular, just a one front post double crochet on the next stitch. Okay, then hop to the next here, double crochet into the stitch, and then front post double crochet on it, and then front post double crochet on the next stitch. and just keep repeating that all the way around. I'm going to do that for round 9, and then I'll meet you up for round 10. Alright, I have just increased all the way around, so now I'm going to slip stitch to the first double crochet. So back here, there's that double crochet there. We're going to go into that, okay, and then slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And at the end of round 9, you should have 102 stitches around. So you can see, let me pull this loop up and see the increase. This is the front of your work. You can clearly see that it's like coming up and out because it needs to go somewhere. So it's going to be flaring out a little bit now. It looks really nice so far. That's going to be so cute. So now let's go on to rounds 10. Let's see, rounds 10, 11, and 12. The next 3 rounds, we're just going to chain up 1 and basically just repeat round 8. Just putting 1 front post double crochet on each stitch around. Now for this round, round 10, do not forget to front post double crochet on the regular double crochet stitches here. So this one back here, front post double crochet on that, and then front post double crochet on these regular front post double crochets here. Okay, so that's for rounds 10, 11, and 12. Just slip stitch to the first front post double crochet of this round when you're closing it and going on to the next round. Then just chain 1 and just front post double crochet on each stitch around. That's it. So I'm going to do that for the next 3 rounds, and when I finish round 12, I'll be back and we'll go on to round 13 together. Alright, so I just finished rounds 10, 11, and 12 here, just putting 1 front post double crochet on each stitch around. It looks good. So we're going to slip stitch to the beginning here, go into the first front post stitch, yarn over, pull through, and through. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this out real quick and show you what my work looks like at this point. This is the front. Okay, so you can see it's kind of coming out here like this, kind of curving up, but don't worry because now we are done increasing everything, so now we're just going to, we're just going to be coming down straight now, and we're going to make the cute little heart design in the front. So what we're going to do, if you want to at this point, you can mark your stitches where you want your hearts to be, because if you don't want them on this side where I am going to have them, you can have them, you know, in the middle or on this side instead. So just mark 15 stitches anywhere in the front. It really doesn't matter stitch counts or anything, because we're not increasing or decreasing anymore for the rest of this pattern. So you can, I'm going to mark my, or I have already in my pattern, the stitch counts and everything for where I want my hearts to be, which mine are going to come down from the center here and start here. So it's 15 stitches though. So if you want to mark 15 stitches anywhere on the front of your dress, you can have yours, your hearts be anywhere. So you can do that, but I am going to just get back to it, going on to round 13. It says to front post double crochet on 53 stitches. So chain up 1, and this first stitch right here is our first one. So we're going to front post double crochet on 53 stitches. You don't have to watch me do that part. So I'm just going to front post double crochet on these 53 stitches, and it will get me to where I want my hearts section to start. So once I get 53 front post double crochets done, I will meet you up and we'll go on to that next step. Alright, so once you get to the point that you want to start your 15 stitch section where you want your hearts to go, I'm at that point right now. So I front post double crocheted in the first 53 stitches. You can see it kind of wraps all the way around to the front side right here. And now I am going on to making that section. What we're going to do is back post double crochet into 15 stitches. So yarn over. Now instead of going through the front of your work like this, like we do a front post, we're going to go from behind our work. So then yarn over, go behind your work, around the post from the back, okay, and then back to the back just like that. And then yarn over and pull that through, just like this. And then yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. And that is a back post double crochet right there. So this is going to create a line across here to segment off that section where our hearts are going to go. So yarn over, go behind your work to the next stitch around it. Okay, just like this. Yarn over, pull through. Then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and there's 2. Yarn over from the back, go around, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that's 3. I'm going to go a little faster now, so we have to do 15 in total. So here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whoops, 11, 12, oopsie, don't lose your loops. There you go, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, so let me count this up real quick here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I did 15 back post double crochet stitches just like that. So then the next row we'll start making those popcorn stitches that will bump out. Okay, so now the rest of the stitches on this round, we are going to, there should be 34 stitches left. We're going to go back to front post double crochets, okay, all the way around, or the rest of the way around. So just put 1 front post double crochet in each stitch for the rest of this round. Like I said, I have 34 stitches left. Yours might be a little different, so just do that and then I will meet you up for round 14. Alright, so I just finished putting front post double crochets in those last 34 stitches here. So this is what it looks like now. We're going to slip stitch to the first front post double crochet right here. Go in, yarn over, pull through, and through. And then for the next round, let's see here, round 14, we are going to chain 1, and we are going to front post double crochet on those first 53 stitches, or until we get to that 15 stitch section. So I'm going to put a front post double crochet on each of these stitches until I get to this section where those back post stitches are. So the first 53 stitches, get a front post double crochet on each one. So I'll meet you when I get to that section where those 15 stitches are. Alright, so I just did these 53 stitches of front post double crochets. Now what we're going to work with is half double crochets, regular half double crochets into these stitches. So it says for round 14, we're going to half double crochet into 3 of these stitches. So these first stitches here, yarn over, go into the actual stitch right here of this back post double crochet, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, that is a half double crochet. Okay, so that was 1, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, that's 2, and this next one is 3. Now we are going to make something called a popcorn stitch, my favorite stitch, in this stitch right here. So we're going to put 5 double crochets into that one stitch. So yarn over, go into that stitch, then yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So there's 1, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There's 2, here's 3 in that same stitch, 4, and 5. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is pull this loop up just a little bit, remove your hook, go into the first double crochet of this 5 double crochet grouping, so right in there, then put that loop back on your hook and pull that loop through that stitch. Okay, just like that. Then pull your yarn like that and pull it tight, and you can see that folds in half and makes a bobble style or a popcorn stitch. That's so awesome. Now we are going to half double crochet into the next stitch. So yarn over, go into the very next stitch right here after this popcorn, then yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And doing that actually kind of pulls that popcorn out more. It's really poppin'. Pun intended. Okay, then we're going to popcorn stitch into the very next stitch. So yarn over, we're going to put 5 double crochets into this next stitch here. So there's 1, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There's 2, here's 3, 4, and 5. And then just like I showed you earlier, we're going to remove that hook from that loop, go into the first double crochet of that grouping. Okay, so don't worry about this half double crochet stitch right here. Go into the double crochet there, insert your hook back on that loop, and then pull that loop through that stitch, and then pull your yarn tight, and there's another popcorn. Okay, then we are going to, let's see here, popcorn, half double crochet, popcorn, then half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So half double crochet into this next stitch right here. So it's a half double crochet, so yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. There's 1, next stitch is 2, and the next stitch is 3. Then we're going to popcorn stitch in the next stitch. So that's 5 double crochets in that next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to remove our hook from that loop, put our hook into the first double crochet of that 5 double crochet grouping, put the loop back on your hook, and then pull that through and pull tight. Then half double crochet into the next stitch, so yarn over, go in, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 of the loops on your hook. And then we're going to popcorn stitch into the next stitch, so that's 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, remove the hook from that loop, go into the first double crochet of the grouping, put the loop back on the hook, pull it through and pull it tight. And there should be 3 stitches left in this 15 stitch group here. We are going to half double crochet in each of those last 3 stitches. Okay, so this is what that section should look like right now. Obviously we're working from the top down, so this is the top of the heart bumps there. Okay, so the next round we're going to put 1 here, here, and here. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll come down and make our heart shape. So that's that section. Now there should be 34 stitches left. You're just going to repeat what we did for the last round, and that's just putting a regular front post double crochet on the rest of the stitches of this round. So I'll do that, and then I will meet you up for the next round, which is round 15. Alright, once you do those last 34 stitches there, we're going to slip stitch to this first front post double crochet stitch right here. Go in, yarn over, pull through and through. And going on to round 15 now, we are going to chain 1, and just like the other rounds, we're going to front post double crochet on these first 53 stitches until we get to that 15 stitch section where our heart is. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'll meet you up at that point and we'll go on to continuing the heart shapes. Alright, now I'm to the part where the heart shapes are here. So what we're going to do is half double crochet into the first 2 stitches of this part. So yarn over, go into this first half double crochet stitch right here, and make a half double crochet. Okay, remember that's yarning over and pulling through all 3 of those loops. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So those first 2 stitches are a half double crochet. Now the stitch right before this popcorn stitch is going to get a popcorn stitch in there. So yarn over, put 5 double crochets in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then remove your hook from that loop and put it in the first double crochet of this grouping right here. Insert your hook back on the loop there, pull it through, pull tight, and there's your popcorn. Now we are going to half double crochet into 4 stitches now, but this stitch right here is the popcorn stitch. You could go into this stitch that you slip stitch through right there, but I prefer to go into the popcorn stitch. So if you like me are separating this right here, just go into that hole. So yarn over, go into that hole of the popcorn. That is the actual popcorn stitch. Yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And there's 1. Now this next stitch is this half double crochet stitch right here, so you can just half double crochet into that stitch itself right there. And then in this next popcorn stitch right here, again, I'm going to separate the stitches, yarn over, go into that stitch, that popcorn stitch there, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And this next stitch is the half double crochet stitch right here. We're just going to put a regular half double crochet into that half double crochet. But now this next stitch right here is the middle stitch, and that is going to get a popcorn stitch. So put 5 double crochets into that stitch. 1, 2, 3, oopsie, 3, here's 4, and 5. And then remove your hook from that loop, go into the first double crochet of the group, put it back on the hook there, pull it through and pull tight. And now we're going to half double crochet into 4 stitches. So this half double crochet stitch right here, oopsie, gotta yarn over first, then go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops there. So there's 1. Next stitch is this popcorn stitch that gets a half double crochet. Yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. There's one, or our second one there. And this next half double crochet gets 1. And then this popcorn stitch right here gets 1. And then the next stitch after this popcorn stitch gets a popcorn stitch. So this one right here, this next half double crochet stitch right there is going to get a popcorn stitch in there. Okay, so we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then go into the first of the group, loop that back on, pull it through. And you should have 2 stitches left of this grouping here. We're going to put a half double crochet in each one of those. Okay, just like that. So you can see here, it looks like a little W actually. Whoop, whoop. So now in the next rows we'll be coming inward like this to make the heart shape there. So what we're going to do now for the rest of this row is, you can see here the front post double crochets. There should be 34 stitches left. So let's just front post double crochet on each of those 34 stitches, and I'll meet you up at the end of this row and we'll go on to row 16 together. Alright, when you come back around, I just did the front post double crochet on those last 34 stitches there. So we're going to slip stitch to the first front post double crochet stitch right here, yarn over, pull through and through. And now going on to round 16, just like the previous round, we are going to chain up 1 and we are going to front post double crochet on these first 53 stitches. Okay, so I'm not gonna make you watch me do that whole thing again. So I'll just meet you up, just front post double crochet on each of these stitches until you get to this 15 stitch grouping here to make the next row of the heart. Alright, just finished front post double crocheting on these first 53 stitches here. Now we are at this part where the heart is. Okay, so these next 15 stitches we are going to continue working the heart. We're going to actually come in now. So what we're going to do here, let's see, round 16 says to half double crochet into 3 of these stitches. So this half double crochet stitch right here gets a half double crochet, so yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And the next one, half double crochet in there. Now the next stitch is a popcorn stitch right here, so we have to, like I showed you earlier, just separate this space here, and then yarn over, go in to the popcorn stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so we half double crocheted into 3 stitches. Now this very next stitch right here is going to get a popcorn stitch. So we are going to put the 5 double crochets in that stitch right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then pull up your loop a little bit, remove your hook, go into the first double crochet right there, put the loop back on your hook, pull it through, and then pull tight, and that makes the popcorn. And then it says to half double crochet into 7 stitches. So yarn over, go into this very next stitch here, and half double crochet in the next 7. So there's 1, next stitch 2, next stitch 3. Okay, this next stitch is the popcorn stitch. I know it looks like a stitch right here, but it's actually the popcorn stitch right there. So yarn over, go into the center of the popcorn stitch right there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, I think that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Next stitch is right here. 5. 6 and 7. Okay, and now you should be at the stitch right before your next popcorn stitch right there. So this stitch right here is going to get a popcorn stitch. So you know how to do that now. Just put 5 double crochets into that stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then pull up the loop, go into the first one there, put the loop back on, pull it through, pull tight. Now we are going to half double crochet in those last 3, I think it is, 3 stitches. Let's see, round 16. Half double crochet into 3 stitches. So this next one is the popcorn stitch. Okay, not this stitch right here, but actual separate this, and popcorn stitch gets a half double crochet in it. And then these next 2 stitches, you have to kind of separate these to see this next one here. There's this one and this last one right here. Okay, because the very next stitch is our front post double crochet stitch. So the rest of the stitches on this row get a front post double crochet, and there should be 34 stitches left. So I'm just going to do that and finish off this row, and I'll meet you up. We'll go on to round 17 together. Alright, just finished doing the front post double crochet in those last 34 stitches, so now I'm going to just slip stitch to the first stitch here, and going on to round 17, just like the last round, we're going to chain 1 and front post double crochet into the first 53 stitches until we get to that heart section. So I'm going to do that, and I will meet you up when I get to those 15 stitches of the heart section, and we'll go on to that next point. Alright, I just front post double crocheted on these first 53 stitches. So now what we're going to do for row 17 says to half double crochet into 4 stitches. So yarn over, go into this half double crochet here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. There's 1, next stitch is 2, and the next stitch is 3, and then this popcorn stitch is also going to get one right here. So I'm going to separate this. Yarn over, go into the popcorn stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so there's 4 half double crochets. Now this next stitch right here after the popcorn stitch gets a popcorn stitch in it. So we're going to put 5 double crochets into that stitch. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, pull up the loop, go in the first one, put the loop back on, pull it through, and there's your popcorn. Now we are going to half double crochet into the next 5 stitches. So half double crochet is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then this next stitch right here gets a popcorn stitch. So you know how to do those already. Just put 5 double crochets into this stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then pull up that loop, go in the first one, put the loop back on, pull it through, and pull it tight. And then we're just going to half double crochet into the last 4 stitches. So into this popcorn stitch right here goes a half double crochet. And the next stitch, oops, I always get that, you know, kind of hidden back there. There we go, there it is. Half double crochet, 1 and 2, next one is 3 and 4. Okay, and then the very next stitch is your front post double crochet, which for the rest of this round we want to put a front post double crochet on the rest of the stitches, which are 34 stitches. So I'll do that, and then I'll meet you up. We'll go on to round 18 together. Alright, so I just front post double crocheted on those last 34 stitches. Let's slip stitch to this beginning. I know it's getting kind of repetitive now, but we want to go on to the next round, 18. I was like looking at my pattern. Oh geez. Front post double crochet on the first 53 stitches. So make sure you chain up 1 first, and then front post double crochet on the first 53 stitches, or until you get to that heart section of those 15 stitches. I'll meet you up when I get to that point, and we will go on to the next row of the heart section, and then the row after this one is finishing the heart part. Alright, once you get to this section here of these 15 stitches to work the rest of this heart, we have 2 more rows to do here, this one and then the next one to close the heart. So what we're going to do is half double crochet into these first 5 stitches, which leads you to this first popcorn stitch. So half double crochet in each of those 5 stitches there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the popcorn stitch right here is 5. Okay, Then the next stitch is going to be a popcorn stitch. So this stitch right here gets a popcorn stitch in it. So that's 5 double crochets, 1, 2, oops, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then pull up that loop, go into the first double crochet, pull the loop back on, pull it through, and pull tight. And then we're going to half double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to popcorn stitch into this next stitch right here. So that's 5 double crochets. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then pull up that loop, go into the first one, first double crochet of that grouping, put the loop back on, pull it through, and then pull tight. And then we are going to do a half double crochet in these next 5 stitches, which is this popcorn stitch first. So half double crochet into there. There's 1. This next one right here is 2. Next is 3. Here's 4 and 5. And then the rest of the stitches on this row are just front post double crochet stitches. And there's 34 stitches left, so we're just going to front post double crochet on the rest of them. And then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 19. Alright, just finishing up round 18 here. We're going to slip stitch to the first front post double crochet stitch there, just like that. And going on to round 19, again, we're going to chain 1 and front post double crochet on the first 53 stitches until we get to that heart section in the front to make the last point of that heart, and then we can go on to the next row. So I'm just going to front post double crochet on these first 53 stitches. Alright, just finishing up here with these first 53 stitches, and once you get to this heart section here, we have to half double crochet into 6 stitches here. So yarn over, go into this next stitch right there, and make your half double crochets here. 1, next stitch is 2, the next one is 3, then 4, 5, and this popcorn stitch right here should be 6. Okay, there we go. So I think I said that this was the last row of this, but actually there's this row and row 20. See, there's only 3 stitches here, so this stitch right here would be a popcorn stitch, then this one would be a regular half double crochet, and then this one would be a popcorn stitch, and then the rest of these. But then the next row would just have that one, so it's actually, I'm sorry, I thought that this was the last row, but it's actually this one and the next one. So this very next stitch right here gets a popcorn stitch. Okay, so you know how to do those now. That's 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then pull up this loop, go into the first double crochet of that grouping, hook that back on, and pull it through. And then half double crochet into the next stitch right here, just a regular half double crochet, and then popcorn stitch into this next stitch. So that's 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then pull up that loop, go into the first one of that grouping, put the loop back on, pull it through, and then half double crochet into the last, let's see here, half double crochet into 6 stitches here. It should be 6 stitches. This popcorn stitch is 1, so half double crochet into this popcorn stitch. 1. This next stitch right here is 2. Here's 3, 4, 5, and 6. And sure enough, the very next stitch is our front post double crochet. So we'll just front post double crochet on the rest of these stitches on this round, and then round 20 we'll finish this heart, because there'll just be that one popcorn stitch at the very base of that heart. So we'll do that next. I'm just going to front post double crochet for the rest of these stitches, and I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 20 together. Alright, when you finish round 19, just slip stitch to the first front post double crochet there. And for round 20, it's starting the same way as these previous rounds here. Just chain up 1 and front post double crochet on those first 53 stitches. And once I get to that heart section in the front, I will meet you up and we will go on to the next step together. Alright, just finishing up this 53rd stitch there. We're at this part where the heart is, so we just had to put 1 right here to make the point of this heart here, so you can kind of see it's starting to form, or it is formed. We just had to finish this heart off. So let's half double crochet into 7 stitches. So just 7 stitches, get a half double crochet here. 1, 2, oops, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this popcorn stitch is 7. Separate that, there we go. 7. Okay, and then this middle stitch right here gets a popcorn stitch in there. So make sure to do 1 popcorn stitch. That's 5 double crochets in that same stitch right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then pull up that loop, go into the first one there, hook the loop back on, pull it through, pull tight, and then half double crochet into this popcorn stitch right here. So a regular half double crochet, and the rest of these next 6 stitches as well. So 1, 2, there should be 7 stitches after the popcorn stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And sure enough, the front post double crochet stitch is the very next stitch, and we will just front post double crochet on the rest of the stitches of this round. And then after this round we will be, let's see, rounds 21. I'll meet you up because the next few rounds are actually a repeat. If you want to, if you want to just stop with 1 heart here and just make this long. Here, let me turn this around so you can see what it looks like now. So cute! You can kind of shape it a little bit to kind of make it, I think it looks pretty much perfectly heart shaped, which is super cute. So if you wanted to just like finish, just have the heart, you could just front post double crochet on each stitch around for the rest of your pattern and just have the heart, this 1 heart, but I'm going to make another heart underneath here, so we're just going to be repeating these. So I'll get to that after this round. Let me just finish this section here, these last few stitches, and then I'll meet you up and I'll explain some things for the next round. Alright, I just finished round 20 here. I'm just slip stitching to the first stitch there. So now at this point, when we chain up 1 to go on to the next round, I'm just going to pull up this loop so I can explain some things at this point. We're going to repeat this section now. Repeat for rounds 21 to 28. So 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. The next 8 rounds, you're going to go back and repeat round 13, which is this back post section here. Okay, round 13 down there. Round 13 to 20. This was row 20 right here. This is round 13. So you're going to go and repeat this whole section, okay, 1 time. Okay, so I'm going to repeat rows 13 to 20. one time. So for rows 21 to 28. So row 21 will be a repeat of row 13. Row 22 will be a repeat of row 14, and so on. Okay, so we're going to repeat that one more time. Now, if you do not want 2 hearts, like if you don't want another heart on here, you could just repeat round 13 at this point, and then the rest of your pattern you can just go and repeat round 10, basically, for however long you want it to be. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm just going, that's how you can do it if you just want 1 heart. But if you want both hearts, like I'm going to do the 2 hearts on top of each other, so I'm going to repeat rounds 13 to 20 one time. And I do want to explain though, because when we get to this point right here, and you have to back post double crochet on these 15 stitches, you want to go around this whole stitch. When you're doing a back post stitch, I'm just going to kind of show you here. You're going to go around this whole stitch like that. Okay, when you do the back post stitches on these 15 stitches. Or what you could do is back post just into this one stitch on the popcorn stitch, and that would be acceptable as well, because you won't really see that one stitch. So that's just when you get to that point and it says to back post double crochet on these 15 stitches, and you get to that one, it's kind of tricky on the popcorn stitch, but you'll get it and figure that out and everything will be good. So I'm just going to repeat rounds 13 to 20, and I'll meet you back up. We'll go on to round 29 together. Alright, I just finished round 28 here. I'm just going to slip stitch to this first stitch right here. And I just want to show you what this looks like. I'm going to chain 1 to go on to round 29, but I'm going to pull this loop up just a second here and show you the front, how it looks with the 2 hearts now. That's so pretty. And if you wanted to, you could just keep repeating, you know, those rows. Rows 13 to 20. You can keep repeating them to make this even longer if you want to, but it's getting kind of long for the dress size that we're making, so it'll probably fit more of like a toddler size, so super cute though. So now I just want to do another repeat to make that. You see this line here and this line here, so we want to make that line right here, so we're going to actually repeat round 15. I believe that's round, let me go back in my pattern real quick here to see round, oh, I'm sorry, round 13. I don't know why I wrote round 15. I'll have to edit my pattern before I post it up online. So in the pattern it says round 13. So for round 29, we're repeating round 13, where we are front post double crocheting into the first 53 stitches, and then on those next 15 stitches where those hearts are, here I'll show you the front here, when we get to, let's see, we're going to go around this whole way with the front post double crochets, and then right when we get to this point here, we're going to do back post double crochets across here. And remember, I showed you just a few minutes ago where I went around from the back of this popcorn stitch, okay, around it to the other side, just like that, to make the stitch. So, and you know how to do back post double crochets, just working from the back there. And you can rewind this to see what we did for round 13 there. That's exactly the same way. So if you want to, just rewind this and watch round 13 and do that for round 29 here, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 30 together. Alright, so I just finished that round 29 there, just repeating round 13. So slip stitch to the first stitch here, and you can see, let me flip this over so you can see the heart section right here. So you can see I did a front post double crochet, or I'm sorry, back post double crochet on this section here of each stitch of the 15 stitches across this way, but then the rest of the stitches around were front post double crochets. So now going on to rounds 30 and 31 are actually a repeat of round 10, where we just did a front post double crochet on every single stitch around. Okay, even this section over here where we have those back post stitches, we're going to front post double crochet on all the stitches around. So every single stitch gets a front post double crochet, and that's for this round, which is round 30. and the next round, round 31. Just after round 30, just slip stitch to the first front post double crochet, and then chain up 1 and go on to round 31 by front post double crocheting around each stitch around. And that is for the next 2 rounds here, round 30 and 31. Once I finish round 31, we are actually going to change color. We're going to do one more round of a mini, like a trim color, just of 1 round, just for a different color, I guess, a little extra detail. And so I'll meet you up when I am going to fasten off this dress after round 31. Alright, I just finished round 31. I just did 2 rounds of front post double crocheting in each stitch around, and I'm slip stitching to the beginning here. I'm going to fasten off, but if you want to make your dress a little bit longer, you can just repeat that. Just keep putting front post double crochet stitches in each row, or in each stitch all the way around for each row that you need to. But you can see there I cut my yarn and pulled it through that chain 1 and then pulled tight on that. I'm going to grab my yarn needle and I'm going to sew this one in, but I do want to add an extra round of a different color. I am going to be using the same yarn. Okay, obviously I need a bigger yarn needle. There we go. So I'm going to use the same yarn type, but just a different color, and the color I'm going to use on the trim is called Loofah. It's like an off-white color. You can see here I'm just sewing in this end with my yarn needle just to hide it back here. There we go. Easy. And then trim any extra. Alright, so now I'm going to grab this loofah color. So like I said, same cotton, same brand, everything. And you can really start in any stitch around. So just go into the actual stitch right there, hook that on, pull it through, and then I'm going to twist this, chain 1, and we are going to half double crochet into each stitch around. So yarn over, go into the actual stitch, then yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Yarn over, go into the next, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And just keep doing that in each stitch all the way around for this cute little detail of a different color. And then once I come back around, I'll meet you up, we'll fasten this part off, and then we can go on to making the sleeves. Alright, when you come back around, just slip stitch to the first half double crochet of this round, just yarn over, pull through, and we can fasten this off. So chain 1, cut this, pull it through, and pull tight. And I'll sew that in a minute, just like how I showed you how I sewed that little blue-ish color too. So I'll do that off camera, but now this is what your dress should look like. Oh my goodness, how lovely! It's so pretty. So now we want to work on these sleeves. So I am going to use the same color, that loofah color. You can do this for, you can do either sleeve, start on either sleeve here. So I'm just going to start on this one up here. And you want to start in, let's see here, it says attach this to the last stitch on the shoulder. So you can see this last free stitch right here. Okay, so you can see this front post double crochet stitch is worked right on this one. So the very next one over right here is where we're going to start. Okay, on this sleeve here. If you're working on this sleeve first, you have to flip to the back of your work. And you can see here this front post double crochet stitch here. We're going to work in this stitch right here. Okay, so either side, it doesn't matter which side you start on. So I'll just start from working the front way here, this one, and we're just going to hook on our yarn and pull it through. Now I'm just going to show you one sleeve, and then you can just do the other sleeve exactly the same. Okay, so what I'm going to do is chain 3, so yarn over and pull through 1, 2, and 3. We are going to skip this next stitch and then single crochet into this next stitch. Okay, just like that. And then we're just going to repeat. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip this next stitch, and then single crochet into this next stitch. Okay, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip the next stitch, and then go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 for a single crochet. And we have to do that until we have 11 chain 3 spaces, okay? So keep chaining 3, and then skip the next stitch, and then single crochet in the next. And do that until you have the 11 chain 3 spaces, and I'll meet you up when I have mine. Alright, you most likely have 1 stitch left. Just ignore that stitch, and we are going to turn our work around so you have your 11 chain 3 spaces here. So we're going to flip our work around, just turn it over like this. Okay, so we're kind of looking at the inside of the sleeve here. And working row 2 of the sleeve, it says to slip stitch into the chain 3 space. So let's go into this chain 3 space here, yarn over, pull through, and through. And then it says, let's see here, chain up 2, 1 and 2, and nothing else is going to be worked into this first one. Okay, we're going to hop right into this next one here, and we are going to put 2 half double crochets. So yarn over, go into this next chain 3 space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 of the loops. Okay, so that's a half double crochet. So we're going to do 2 half double crochets. So that was 1 and 2. Then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to put 2 more half double crochets in that same space. So 1 and 2, just like that. Then we are going to hop to the next one here and do the same thing here. We're going to put 2 half double crochets, 1 and 2 in there, then chain 2, 1, 2, and then 2 more half double crochets in that same space, 1 and 2. So in each chain 3 space across here, we're going to put 2 half double crochets, chain 2, and 2 half double crochets until you get to the very last space. I'll meet you up when I have 1 space left. I'm just going to put these sequence of stitches in each of these spaces until I have 1 space left, and I'll meet you up at that point. Alright, so I have 1 chain 3 space here left, so I just did that sequence of stitches in each of those chain 3 spaces there. So there's 1 left. We're just going to put 1 half double crochet in that last one. Okay, nothing too exciting there. Just like that. Now what we're going to do is, let's see here, turn your work around. Okay, let me turn it around here. Okay, and we're going to work in this chain 2 space right away, this first chain 2 space, and we're going to put 6 half double crochets in there. So yarn over. Okay, I didn't even chain up or anything, just turn the work and yarn over. Going into this chain 2 space, we're putting 6 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Then in between these groupings here, you can see there's a little gap. There's these 2 half double crochets and these 2 half double crochets, and there's a little gap in there. We are going to single crochet in between those gaps there, right in that gap. So go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Just like that. So a single crochet in that gap. And then we're just going to repeat that sequence all the way across. So put 6 half double crochets into this next chain 2 space here. 1, 2, 3, 4, whoopsie, 5, and 6, and then single crochet in between those groupings. There are 2 half double crochets here and 2 half double crochets here. So go into that gap, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so just do that all the way across, and once I get to this very end here, I'll show you how to fasten off, because all we basically we're not gonna be working in this chain 2 here. So once I finish this last chain 2 space of putting 6 half double crochets in there, I'll meet you up and we'll fasten off together. Alright, once you're finished with the last grouping of 6 half double crochets in that last chain 2 space, you can see here is our chain up 2 here. You can see this gap right here. If you want to, you can go into the second chain, or you can go into this gap right here and just slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook just like that. And then just chain 1, and you can cut your yarn to fasten off. and then pull that all the way through, and then pull that really tight, and that fastens that off. And there's your sleeve. So I'm just going to grab a yarn needle real quick. So all you'll have to do is those three rows for the other sleeve as well. So you'll have to finish, just, you know, if you want to just rewind this to see what I did for this sleeve, just do the same exact thing for the other sleeve and make your cap sleeves. Okay, I need to get, I'm struggling here. There we go. I need to get new yarn needles. It's so silly. But I've needed them for a while now. If you've watched my previous videos, you can see like I struggle to get this in there. There we go. Alright, so I'm just sewing in that end. I showed you how to do that earlier. So just sew in the rest of your ends and make your other sleeve. And then what I also did is grabbed a ribbon and I wove it around this round here, which is after our increase round. Let me go check my pattern here because I don't remember what round that was. Yeah, so right before, or right after the increase round, which on round 6, round 6? No. Sorry guys. I don't know which one I did this. Oh, round 9. This was round 9 here. So I did, after round 9, so actually around round 10, I wove this nice cute little ribbon, and I had it opening, or closed in the back here, so it ties in the back, just like that. And you can see here I finished both of the sleeves. They're very nice, like little cap sleeves, little lacy cap sleeves, so that's how they look. And that's it. That is the beautiful Happy Hearts baby dress. So thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this dress. This was a lot of fun to make with the cute little hearts and just the embellishments and the extra pieces and everything. So big thank you to Red Heart Yarns for providing this soft, luscious cotton yarn today. Big thank you to my dad, Fuad Azmat, for filming back there, editing and posting this tutorial for us. And big thank you to you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Please check out the Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. All of those links and information is in the description of this video. Make sure to check out YARNutopia.com so you can get the free written pattern on there as well, and the video tutorial and everything. So thanks so much for watching, everyone. Until next time, happy hooking!